Namaste, welcome to my channel. I'm your motivating storyteller Sharda Chandrasekharan. Learning from Ramayana, Balkand continues. Last video we did see how attitude mattered. In this video we will see what is the education system, how to get the best mentor or the guru, and what is the impact of education on an individual. So now let us get into the story. Balkand. Boys have now grown up. They are ready for schooling. Great King Dashratha was a great archer himself. So he imparted all his knowledge to his sons. The sons Rama, Bharata, Shatrughna and Lakshmana were reared up with full care, dedication, love, and with lot of family values. Now they are ready for schooling. They have to be educated. Now what is education? Education and literacy has got a hairline difference. Literacy is something, or I should say the knowledge of just reading and writing. Whereas education is in a broader spectrum of literacy. Literacy is a step towards education, whereas education is value-added skills which makes a person perfect in his life and makes him understand of who he is himself, the self-awareness, and how he should behave socially and legally in the society. In nutshell, I should say education is art of living, where it takes the person to change his behavior, giving a practical approach to whatever is learned in a particular place, with a particular situation, with a particular people, and coming up in one's own life. So that was the hairline difference between literacy and education. Now let us come into the story. As every parents, they do hunt or search for the best for their children. So King Dashratha was nowhere different from other common people. So he also started searching for the best school, best teacher, and he wanted the best schooling for the children because he didn't want them to get pampered. They wanted to be known the common people's difficulties, because in future they have to be the king of Ayodhya. Okay, so he starts searching the profile. Initially, Gurukul used to be the schools where students were sent to the Gurukuls. I should say what was a residential school where parents were not allowed, and gurus used to teach them one-to-one interactions. Where there a lot of value-added education used to be taught without interference of their parents. Then started with schooling, where again our parents started getting into the best schools, which would give their sons or daughters the best of the education, where they can learn lots of things. And fortunately or unfortunately, now it is because of pandemic, now teachers have to advertise themselves and they get into every kul and tells the students, the parents, I'm the best. So whatever skills I can teach your people, do please approach me and I can give my best. So these are the three types of educational system which we have been seeing and we are undergoing. So coming back to the story, that is Balkand, where Rama, Bharata, Shatrughna and Lakshmana, they are sent to Sage Vashishta. When King Dashratha sees to the profile of the great sage Vashishta, he is a renowned sage, a preceptor, a teacher, well known for his knowledge. He comes across that Samavarta, a king who was defeated by Panchalas. With the guidance of Sage Vashishta, he got back his kingdom. So that was an added point. Then he saw that Sage Vashishta has been married to Arundhati for such a long time. So he knew that he's a very loving person, family loving person. So he says, okay, very good. His wife's name was Arundhati, which he used to proudly say, and had got 100 sons. I don't know how far it is true, or whether they are talking about the students in their Gurukul, I don't know. Anyway, so having 100 sons, he is a very lovable nature, naturally. And the third, he says, he's a great scholar because he has written Mandala 7 in Rig Veda, Yoga Vashishta, Vashishta Dharma Shastra, and some parts in Agni Purana. So, very great scholar. And Sage Vashishta always used to be on the righteous path. Never he used to violate any rules. All goody points he comes across. Then suddenly he is also known for his renunciation and no greed at all. He never used to demand money. He was a great scholar he wanted to spread his knowledge worldwide, and wherever he could help the people through his knowledge, he used to do that. He was such a great sage. So now his eye falls on one thing where it was written that Sage Vashishta was known for the rivalry of Vishwamitra. Oh God, rivalry with such a great man? How could that be possible? Dasharatha sees to his biodata or profile. There it is written, okay, yes, with the love, he had made Vishwamitra as a great friend. So now let us see how the story talks about Sage Vashishta's virtues and how he was selected to be the great mentor. Sage Vashishta had crossed Indus River and has established a school. As we all knew that what he has written as an author. He used to have a tremendous power of meditation for hours together. He was not at all greedy, as told before. He was very reliable and he was known for his renunciation. So these things, and he used to rather go for more of human values. He believed in that system, human values. With more of respect, he respected all the human kinds. Not only humans, even animals for that matter. And he used to forget and forgive everyone without any prejudice. Let them make any ample number of mistakes. So now the story, because he being such a great meditator, gods were pleased and they asked him what boon he would like to have. So he used to say, no, I don't need any boon. Seeing his generosity and seeing the renunciation in him, Lord Indra gives him a calf of Kamadhenu named Nandini. So this calf used to give everything for whatever he wants in his life, the worldly desires. So Vashishta accepts the gift. Once when Vishwamitra, those days he was a great king of Kaushik, his name was Kaushik, he was ruling state which was named Kaushika or Kausal, and this great king Vishwamitra, he started going to uh, a sport, hunting sport, which was very famous. He went along with, accompanied by his retinue. He went for hunting. On the way, when it was dark, he comes to the place where Vashishta was staying. And there he, with the permission of the sage, he takes rest, and he also demands for some refreshment with Sage Vashishta. Seeing to this, Sage Vashishta arranges for a great refreshment with lot of culinaries and beautiful cuisines with all delicious foods and varieties of foods to give them the refreshment, and also with lots of drinks. This makes Vishwamitra amazed. Are, how could in this jungle the sage could arrange all these things? So naturally he does go to the sage Vashishta and he asks for how this was possible, O great sage. So great sage Vashishta says, it's not in my hand, dear friend. It is because of this calf Nandini. She had made this possible. So now Vishwamitra, being little greedy, he feels, why not I get this from the sage, because she can be a great help for me. Now he asks Sage Vashishta, O great hermit, this is no use for you. Why don't you give this to me? Instead, I can give you lot of other well bred of cattle, which is worldly renowned. So Vashishta just laughs at him and sneers at him and says, no, thank you very much, great king, because I cannot part with any gift, as she is the sole gift for me, wherein I can give my people whatever they want, or I can take care of my pitrus, my sacrifices, or other karmas, which with her help only it is possible. So this infuriates the king Vishwamitra. He starts shouting, oh, you sage, you are just a mere Brahmin. You are talking to such a brave and bold and courageous king on whose land you are living. Blah, 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 blah. He shouts. Sage Vashishta, in a very pious manner, very compassionate, down to earth, replies, O great king, you can have anything you want on earth, but please don't underestimate a Brahmin, because I am not interested to part with her. If you want to take her, it is up to you. This again infuriates King Vishwamitra, and he orders his army, go and get that calf for me. Now when the army people, they run to bring that calf to King Vishwamitra, the calf literally cries, oh master, what mistake did I do to you? Did I do any mistake? Why are you parting with me? Please tell me, oh master. So here again, the calf who was under Vashishta, he knows without the permission of his master, he cannot go. So he again pleads to show that what exactly he should do to this great king. So we did see the hospitality which was rendered to Vishwamitra by Vashishta, and now we see that he is, how the calf itself is so in a righteous manner to ask his master what master had said, and he is not reacting to the situation. He is asking the permission of her master. Now when Vashishta knows, Vashishta says, oh my darling, I have not said anything to the king. It is the king who is, by force he is snatching you. Now it is up to you. I am no one to say. I will never ever say or snatch your will and wish. It is your will and wish. If you would like to go along with him, it is up to you. So we can see how righteous he is, even to a slave or to the gift or to just an animal. He is so generous, Sage Vashishta. So hearing to this, when Sage Vashishta says this to Nandini, she gets furiated and she's okay, that is the reason. Oh, let me find out how I can save myself. And she defends herself with all the army from her body, attacks the soldiers of King Vishwamitra, and he gets defeated. With Aztec power of Vashishta, Nandini was in a position to defend herself. So this we see the defending method, how the calf has done. So 3 virtuous points where we get. Now this infuriates, furiates Vishwamitra, and he is full of grudge. He just wants to take revenge on Sage Vashishta. So he plans and he thinks Kshatriyas are of no use. Nothing could do anything to this great Brahmin. So he just surrenders himself for the penance, and he starts his penance and become Rajarishi. But the malice in his heart still goes for taking revenge on Sage Vashishta. Once he becomes the Rajarishi, still he has that grudge over Vashishta. He just wants to demolish Sage Vashishta. He is on that. Sage Vashishta, on the other hand, he is cool, calm and quiet. So with his Aztec power, say King Vishwamitra, after becoming the Rajguru, he bewitches a king with a witch or with a demon called Kingara, and he bewitches that king and makes all the 100 sons to be killed by this king. On the other hand, when Vashishta comes to know about it, he becomes so sad. Though if he wanted, he would have killed Vishwamitra, but he never does that. He feels, this is what the fate has given me. So he's just calm and cool, but at the same time he's so sad about all these happenings. So he goes to the nature, Saraswati. He wants to get drowned himself because his sons he has lost. Saraswati, river Saraswati doesn't allow that to do. He goes to ocean, he wants to kill himself. The oceans, they don't permit him to do. Then he goes and wanted to commit suicide, set himself in the fire. The fire gets extinguished. So nature, when the nature is not in a position to accept him because he is such a great soul. So he feels that, okay, now I cannot do anything, as maybe God would have destined something else. Let me forget all these things, and he starts again meditating to the God to remove his agonies or stress, such a great stress what he was having. So this continues. One day so happens, after all this episode, he just forgets about Vishwamitra. So it so happened that his wife, Arundhati, one fine day, he says, hey, look at the moon, how pure and bright it is, without any stains on it. So this sage, Vashishta, he just sees to the moon and he says, it is not as bright as the aura of Vishwamitra. Arundhati is just amazed seeing this reaction. She says, the man who killed our 100 sons, you're talking about him? So Sage Vashishta says, yes, that was his nature. But the glow of the moon, the brightness of the moon is much less than the Brahmatej of Vishwamitra. This statement Vishwamitra, as he was passing by, he overhears that and he just runs with the feeling ashamed of himself, with the tears flowing, and just goes and prostrate and holds the Vashishta's feet. He says, "Oh Lord, you're such a great sage. Please, please, please forgive me. I know there is no word for forgiveness, but you're such a great sage that I feel ashamed of myself." And Sage Vishwamitra, he prostrates Sage Vashishta. But Sage Vashishta, in a very polite manner, he just lifts Sage Vishwamitra and cuddles him, embraces him, saying that what has destined has destined, whatever has happened has happened. So don't brood over the past and let us be good friends. And from that day onwards, till the end, they were the best paths, Sage Vashishta and Sage Vishwamitra. This really attracts King Dashratha. And not only that, Sage Vashishta, because of Sage Vashishta only, King Dashratha doing the yaga, he could get his sons or offsprings. So these things literally made Dashratha, if a guru is so great in his virtues, it is the best thing that my children, that is Rama, Bharata, Shatrughna and Lakshmana, they should be educated under his guidance. So they take the students or the people to the Gurukul. They are put under his guidance. Boys being very smart, they learn very quickly. They become the scholars. They learn the Dharma Shastra, the kinmanship, and all the Shastras, Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra, Upanishad, Vedas, everything whatever is required by a king or future person, as a good citizen, as a king, whatever they have to learn, all the skills they learn very quickly. And once their graduation is finished, the parents are called upon to take them to their respective places. So after learning and after getting educated, their people, the minister Sumantra, goes to bring the students back to the palace. Here in the palace and in the kingdom, all the people are so happy that one is the renowned guru had given them the guidance. When Samavarta can get his kingdom back, and with all the righteous thing, when Vashishta's knowledge was worldwide spread, they could very well understand how their future king will be. So they were just happy for the future king, who is so well educated, and there won't be any downfall. So everyone in the kingdom and in the state, they are so jubilant and so happy with the boys having graduated under the guidance of Sage Vashishta. So hope you liked the story and the impact of education, which made the subjects very happy, their parents very happy, the knowledge they have shared, and they themselves became so great. And because of that, we even today we pray to Purushottam Ramchandra. Thank you very much. Hope you would have all liked and enjoyed the story, the morals, if you did really like, and the moral as well as the story, please do comment and do subscribe. Thank you. Jai Ram Ji ki. Take care. Bye bye.